Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. Remember them? FBI agents, counterintelligence. They were the ones that were exchanging text messages about not liking or trusting Donald Trump and looking forward to doing the investigation and such. And the concern was that they were biased against Trump and therefore their investigations were biased. And apparently they had had an affair, and Trump basically made it his personal mission to take these two people down because that's kind of who he is. Well, Peter Strzok and Lisa Page are basically suing Donald Trump and the FBI. Well, it's not Donald Trump. They're suing the FBI and the Department of Justice for wrongful termination. So Strzok is suing for wrongful termination, and Page is suing for invasion of privacy. Judge Amy Berman Jackson ruled that Strzok could depose Donald Trump in this case. That got appealed. The Board of Appeals reviewed it and agreed that Judge Berman Jackson had properly reviewed the case, and they agreed with her that in this instance, due to the unusual set of circumstances that were involved, Strzok may interview or depose Trump for this trial, given a very narrow scope of questions relevant to the case. So now you have an expert, or like the leading expert in the United States on counterintelligence, deposing Trump. Won't this be fun? Now, mind you, it's going to be focused just on the wrongful termination, but for entertainment purposes only, let's find out the energy behind this, shall we? Come on down. What can you tell us about Peter Strzok? How that's going to go? Happy days are here again. Oh, I think Strzok is happy as a clam. You know, Trump, again, made it his personal vendetta to get, it was just his mission to get Strzok and teach him a lesson. And now Strzok gets to strike back. And this is going to be hard. I think when they're showing the burden here, I think the burden's going to be on Donald. It's not going to be on Peter Strzok. I mean, the burden on Strzok is not to just absolutely ravage this guy with any question he wants, because he can't. He has to focus on it. So maybe for Strzok it's a little bit of a stress that he has to stay focused on the case. But for Donald, Trump can't keep his mouth shut. Already in the sidebar here, but they released his deposition in the civil case, and he's rambling on about all sorts of stuff. I don't know how a civil case against Trump.org leads to Donald Trump testifying that he saved New York or the United States from nuclear war. Seems like you're rambling a bit, huh? Also said, well, I didn't expect anybody to take these financial documents seriously. Really? You swear to the best of your ability this information's accurate. He's like, oh yeah, there's guesstimates in there, and you know, we have verbiage saying not to take it seriously at all. Good Lord, the man can't shut up, and the more he talks, the more he hangs himself. Yes, this is Trump. What's underneath it? Oh, Strzok he's got the knives out. Knives out, sharpening, and he is going to basically rock Trump's world. Strzok is looking forward to this. He's getting his questions lined up, and I'm sure they will be doozies. In the past, Seven of Wands, this has been Peter Strzok and Lisa Page trying to fight off investigations, accusations, rumors and innuendo, so on and so forth, and going through the court systems, trying to fight back and get what is rightfully theirs. Whether they want to work for the FBI anymore or Department of Justice is on them. But the wrongful termination was just exactly that. It was wrongful. The current situation is the Queen of Pentacles. he's just had something really valuable land in his lap. And I think he appreciates the value of what's been ruled for him, and he will take appropriate actions to get the most mileage out of that limited deposition that he can get. Overarching energy is the King of Cups. No, I don't think it's Joe Biden. I think it's going to expose the immaturity of Donald Trump. How he makes his he emotionally reacts to things. It's an immature emotion. And then he basically strong arms people to do what he wants because he's having a mantrum. The lesson to be learned is the Two of Pentacles. And I think this goes to the King of Cups. It's, you know what? Sometimes you have to understand when something's valuable and when something is beneath you. And the thing with Trump and a lot of his MAGA supporters is that nothing is beneath them. They hit rock bottom and start digging. There's no bottom. There's nothing beneath them, so he can't ever let anything go to focus on the important stuff. Everything is important, and the lower he can go, the happier he gets, because if he can make 2 people's lives miserable, that makes him happier than making 100 lives miserable. It's kind of that, how to describe it. There's like this disembodiment when you're making the lives miserable of just gay people or brown people. But they don't have names. They don't have faces. They don't have stories. So when you can focus on your Peter Strzoks and your Lisa Pages, those are names. Those are faces. And imagine he gets some visceral delight in just crushing them under his feet because he can see them and picture them and they're real people. When you put a Muslim travel ban or you refer to all the folks crossing over from the southern border as rapists, it's just kind of a general swath. It's not an individual assault. And Trump is the type of person, he likes that individual assault and crushing. It just makes him feel powerful. But he's just a baby. Outcome, 5 of Swords, winner takes all. Do not expect Peter Strzok to take any prisoners in this. He is not going to let Trump off the hook even a little bit. His questions will likely be incredibly pointed and poignant to his trial. He will think this through and he will go for it. He knows what he's been handed. It's quite a valuable gift. And he's going to make the most of it. Parry this one down here. Okay, let's get these things shuffled. And we will... Wow. Good for him. Good for him. If he was wrongfully fired, then I hope he wins his case. He certainly can't argue that Peter Strzok wasn't given the opportunity to fully represent it. And if he has a case, this is one of those ones you take your best shot. And I think he's going to take his best shot. And if he doesn't get the ruling, he doesn't get the ruling. But, this is great. This is good. This is good for him. I'm sure Trump is going to be miserable being deposed. Because again, he's like, I thought I killed that cockroach. How come he's back being able to challenge me? Donald the King cannot understand why one of his opponents that he defeated years ago is even daring to challenge him. It's that kind of mindset. How is Trump feeling right now about all this? Out in the I thought exactly. I killed these guys. I threw these guys out. Why are they still around? Here's your large institute. Here's the man or the woman kicked out of there. I threw them out in the cold. They should have just gone away and never darkened my door again. And, they got paid for their job. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to reduce their pension or eliminate them from their pension. But it's like, I almost think he'll feel like the judges, him coming to the court and testifying is really beneath him, especially for these two miserable people. It's kind of funny. You got the couple that's tossed out, and now here they are getting some crumbs here. Maybe this is their day in court with the judge. There's so many different meanings and layers of this one, but they are getting their day in court after being tossed out. How's Donald Trump? Strength. This is a bitter pill for him to swallow, and he has to show strength, but the pettiness of their dismissal shows the weakness of Donald Trump, and now he might have to pay the price for being petty. Here we go. In the past, there's his victory for getting rid of Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. Funny how this was like the foundational card for how Peter Strzok is feeling or over the overall situation, because it's like this is the full karmic rebound. This is how Trump felt when he fired him, and it was right there on what's the current energy with Strzok being able to depose him. It's come full circle. Right back at you. You sent out a magnitude 10 wave, and it came back as a magnitude 10 wave. Right back to you. And I forget who threw this one out here. We've got the ace of cattle prods. Donald is going to have a tantrum. That's not really a tantrum, but he's going to try and exercise as much authority and power as he can. He's going to try and flex. So I'm sure he's going to go on social media and attack them on social media. And if he can, he'll incorporate them in his next rally. He'll go on to whatever news, OAN or Newsmax, and talk about the corrupt Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, the lovers that tried to take him down, and he got rid of them, and now they're back, and how unfair it is, and la da 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 da. The normal hits that you would expect. Problem is, when he's deposed, the truth is going to come out. He doesn't want the truth to come out. When you're Donald Trump, the truth is not your friend, and the truth is going to be revealed. Okay, we're a little early for election interference in here, but part of the thing that Peter Strzok and Lisa Page were looking for was election interference, but in the 2016 election. And I think they'll be able to make the connection for the wrongful termination, because they were investigating election interference and Trump didn't like it. And so Trump got rid of him. And now they're going to be able to show that Trump getting rid of him was not, it wasn't legal, basically. It wasn't legal. And it's going to be linked to the election interference investigation that they were doing. The outcome, Trump is trapped. He's trapped by his own words and his own deeds. That's what's going to get him. He can't undo what he's done in the past. He's kind of stuck with it. And because he did it, he's also stuck with the consequences of it all. So Donald is feeling trapped. It's just yet another thing in the courts that he has to deal with. He's got six cases of his own that he has to deal with. You've got E. Jean Carroll, you've got the civil case, you've got the New York hush money case, you've got the Mar-a-Lago's document case, you've got the election interference case in Georgia, and you got the January 6th insurrection case. It's really hard to keep track of all of them. And now we're going to have him having to be deposed for Peter Strzok and Lisa Page for wrongful termination and invasion of privacy. How will Strzok's deposition go? How will the deposition go with Strzok and Trump? How will that deposition go with Strzok and Trump? Might as well ask how the conclusion is, right? That's kind of the fun of this. Oh, to quote House of Petty, I love this for him. He just, You act like the consequence. Well, I guess that's it for Donald Trump. The consequences never come. They never, ever, ever come. And now they're finally coming. They're coming all at once. He's just getting pummeled. All right. How is this going to go for him? How is this deposition going to go? They're going to make that connection. It may not be a whole lot of information, but I think there's going to be enough here. They're going to make the connection with the election interference and their firing on it. And it's going to be, it's going to be the end. They're going to get what they need, and it's going to bring this case to an end. And I think it's going to bring it to an end for Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, not for Donald Trump. And Trump's going to have to pay, or the DOJ is going to have to pay. They will get their compensation for whatever they're supposed to get compensated for. She'll get hers for evasion of privacy. He'll get his for his wrongful termination. Maybe it helps with their pension and retirement and such. But it looks like they're going to get paid out of it. During the trial, Trump's going to be fucking obstinate. Sorry, I swore. He's going to be obstinate. He's just going to be continually asked questions he doesn't want to answer. And, and Trump does this. You've seen this, right? He sits down there with his arms crossed across his chest with a giant pout on his face. Not my fault. Fake news. Yeah, he's going to look like a baby up there. How's this going to go out? This information, again, foundationally, it's underneath it all. The underlying thing is the election interference that's going on with it. But they make that connection, and I think Peter and Lisa are going to get their money. It may not be a huge amount of money, but they'll get their money from this. This could lead to another case that comes up. I'm wondering what the Three of Wands is. Three of Wands is, waiting for the next thing to come on this one. So there could be further cases or things like that that happen out of this. The overarching energy is the Knight of Swords. I know what this is, probably that they were investigating him for foreign interference, and then all of a sudden, they're under assault by Trump and his cronies here. And there were backroom dealings going on. And it's going to be shown that there's backroom dealings, and Strzok is victorious. Strzok and Lisa Page are victorious on this one. And again, they get their payout. So, it's early to wish them their congratulations. But if I've interpreted these cards correctly, and the cards are answering the questions that I've asked, my guess is Strzok and Lisa Page will get paid. They will win their case, and it's just going to be another loss in a long line of losses for Donald Trump. Now, mind you, it's the DOJ in this case that's technically fighting it, but it's Trump's actions that caused this whole thing to begin with. So, again, what comes around goes around. It was interesting to see that Ten of Cups come up in the first reading, and then in that second one. It just shows me the links on things. All right, so thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your likes and your comments and your shares and feeding the YouTube algorithm beast so that my videos have a better chance to get out and reach to new people. And for those new people who are watching me for the first time or for the first few times, welcome to the channel. Hope you subscribe and hope you find my readings informative and mildly entertaining in the process. I appreciate your support, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.